Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be previewing this coming Friday's meeting here from Fanny Bay, which will be the 25th of March. With the big St Pat's meeting now behind us, racing in the top end slows somewhat, with the Alice Springs Cup Carnival the immediate focus. However, with this Friday's meeting and then 3 in April, there is still plenty to keep an eye on before we get to the Red Centre for the Cup weekend in late April, early May. The first race of the 5 carded is timed to go at the mid-afternoon time of 3:15 p.m, while the last is scheduled to jump at 5:35 p.m. Some 33 horses have accepted for the meeting, and with 8 riders in attendance, we should have minimal scratchings. In the first, the Silks 4:21 Happy Hour Handicap. It's over the 1,300 metres. My numbers are 4, 1 and 2. This one for the 0 to 64 gallopers in a field of 7 to go around here. Going with number 4 Thunder Peak from the Gary Clark stable, and Paul Shires takes them out. Jared Todd suspended last Saturday here, so he's out for this weekend, and Paul's picked up some really good rides for our leading trainer Gary Clark. This one of them, having just his second start in Darwin, is Thunder Peak, formerly trained by Mike Moroney in Victoria. I liked the way he hit the line at his first run. That was on the 4th of March over 1,100 metres. The step out to 1,300 I think will suit Thunder Peak. He's a son of Vancouver. And the trip suits, as I say, and he's dropping a little bit in weight. So I'm going for him to win the first, number 4. To beat the obvious 2 dangers, number 1, Don't Wait, and number 2, Sweet Chevelle. Don't Wait, trained by Tayan Holter, Wayne Davis in the saddle. Really consistent galloper, a last start winner in benchmark 54 grade. Drops in weight. The distance may be the only query for Don't Wait. Has won at it before, but these days probably been seen to advantage over shorter trips, but can't leave him out, number 1. And then for third, number 2, Sweet Chevelle. Another really consistent galloper, this one trained by Joe Banks. Sonia Wiseman, isn't she going well? Sonia, she takes them out. Up in trip, probably the only question mark. Only raced once at the 1,300, but must be in the mix. In the first, my numbers are 4, 1 and 2. The seconds, the Bet365 Trobus 3-year-old and maiden plate, so it's the hybrid race. We've got a couple of 3-year-olds and the rest of the field made up with 4-year-old and older maidens. And this one over the 1,200 metres, a field of 7 to go around here. My numbers are 4, 5 and 6. Cassat, he's one of the winners in the event. He's a 3-year-old, won 2 starts back. Wayne Davis in the saddle for Phil Cole. Coley had a good day here last Saturday, of course, with a double. And Cassat, as I mentioned, won 2 starts back, then raced last week here, went 4th to stablemate El Magnificence. That was in the 0 to 58. He's won at the trip, 1 start, 1 win, and he is going down in grade, you would say, to a 3-year-old and maiden as opposed to a 0 to 58. So I thought he could get back in winning form. Number 4, Cassat. Ahead of the stablemate, number 5, It's Pins. Stan Sakos aboard for Phil Cole. Has had some 15 starts now for the 1 second and 4 thirds, so getting to crisis stage, I suppose you'd say, for It's Pins. Can he break through for a win? He's a good chance here. He was 4th the other day behind Rojo Boom, who looks a smart type. That was in the maiden, so I'm putting him in to run second, It's Pins. So the Cornella for Phil Cole. And then for third, number 6, Zip Lane, Gary LaFaux trains. Paul Shires in the saddle. Another one who's just struggling to win a race, 2 seconds and a third from 10. Does mix her form a little bit, Zip Lane, but I have her in to make up the trifecta. My numbers in the second, 4, 5 and 6. The third's the Sky Racing Handicap. This is the 0 to 70. It's over the 1,100 metres. Really good little race this. We see 2 horses returning, 2 smart horses returning in number 1, Little Town Blues, and number 2, Manly Cove, and a newcomer to Darwin in number 3, Poupée. So those are the order I'm going in, 1, 2 and 3. Little Town Blues on top, Wayne Davis for Phil Cole. Pretty smart as a 3-year-old. He's back now as a 4-year-old. Hasn't raced since early November. His last couple of runs were a little disappointing in that last campaign, but he's had a break. He's back now, and he has had a trial recently to fit him for this. On his day, he's the class act, and I've got him on top, number 1. To beat number 2, Manly Cove, trained by Gary Clark. Paul Shires aboard. His first 3 starts in Darwin last campaign were winning ones, and then failed on the 3rd of July. Hasn't raced since then, so he's had a really good long break, Manly Co's. Obviously had the odd little issue, but no doubt Gary Clark will have sorted that out. He's in the right stable for that to happen, of course, Manly Co. And Fresh Up, I'll be really interested to see how he goes. Drawn the 1 gate, got him in to run second. And in for third, the newcomer, trained by Tom Logan in Poupée. Tommy had a newcomer win here last week in Blue Ant, and this one, formerly trained in Queensland, got some pretty decent form around her. She's a mare, Poupée, by Better Than Ready. So Tommy does a good job with a little team, so can't leave Poupée out of calculation. Sonia Wiseman, of course, takes the mount. Numbers in the third, 1, 2, 3. The fourth is our highest grade race of the day. It is the average benchmark. It's over the 1600. It's the Tab Long May We Play handicap, and looking forward to seeing him back in form or back on the racecourse and at any rate. Number 1, I Am the Fox. I've got him on top here. 1, 3, 4, my numbers. Gary Lafaux certainly holds the key here. 5 runners. He's got 4 of them, including the 2 headliners, and I Am the Fox and Budget King. I Am the Fox, of course, the Alice Springs Cup winner from last year, also won the Catherine Cup and the Sir Pat's Cup. He had a great year last year at I Am the Fox. Went to Victoria, had a couple of runs down there in October and November. Has spelled since. Had a trial here the other day, looked in great order and hit the line solidly. And he's a class act, 61.5 kilograms, a good horse's weight, but he is a good horse, even though he's an 8-year-old now. Got him on top. He's heading to Alice Springs for the Cup down there to beat the stablemate, the last start winner in Budget King, a former NT Derby winner, of course, and Casey Hunter takes the mount here for Gary Lafaux. He won last start here on the 18th of February, so hasn't raced for about 6 weeks. He's another one heading to Alice Springs. So those 2 class acts really look to hold the key here. And in for third, number 4, My Tradition. Jess Philpott visits again from Alice, takes them out here for Chris Pollard. Good run last week in the St Pat's Cup behind Count of Essex, finished 4th and can race well again. My numbers in the 4th, 1, 3 and 4. And the last is our biggest field of the day, the Karen Brown Fine Art Handicap. It's a benchmark 54, also over the 1600 metres. A field of 9 assembled, probably be the one scratching with only 8 riders on course. My numbers here, 2, 1 and 3. No Strings, trained by Gary Clark, has only had the 2 starts in Darwin for 2 good wins. Low grade horse sort of going through his grades into the benchmark 54 now. Paul Shire's aboard, should be in for a pretty good day. He's got some really nice rides. And No Strings, drawn 1, got a bit of weight to carry, 61 kilograms, but I think he's done everything asked of him, and the step to the mile should suit him. Got him on top to beat number 1 Against the Tide. Emma Steele's done a great job with this horse. Another good run last week behind Count of Essex in the St Pat's Cup. Adam Nichols takes the mount, 61.5 kilograms on his back. And in for third, a stablemate of No Strings in Skellig Island. Stan Sakos aboard, a winner 2 starts back, then second last time out. The mile seems to suit him, and he's my 3rd selection. So numbers in the last, 2, 1 and 3. I'm going with 2 best bets on Friday. Couldn't find too much in the way of a roughie or what have you. So the best bets come up in race 2, number 4, Cassat. Race 2, number 4, Cassat. I think out of that 58 last week, back to a maiden and 3-year-old, he can get back in winning form again. And my other best bet in the last, race 5, number 5, No Strings. Looking for 3 in a row here in his only 3 starts in Darwin. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk, but we'll be back again in a fortnight's time for the first of 3 meetings in April. That's another Friday fixture. It's on the 8th of April. And until then, good luck and good punting.